But really, everyone can only think about these horrible allegations involving former assistant coach Jerry Sandusky. So what is next? With the answer to that and some other burning legal questions this morning, we are joined by attorney Felix Vega. Hi there.
Good morning, Kristin.
Well, okay, so this Penn State scandal really grows by the day, and now we're hearing that Joe Paterno has hired an attorney. So is that an indication that possibly he could be facing charges as well?
Not right now in terms of the Pennsylvania case, because the grand jury already cleared him of any wrongdoing so far. There are so many more allegations that are out there. I know the Attorney General's office has set up a hotline, and also the police department in State College, to find out if there's more victims out there. The other problem for Paterno is that the federal government is also looking into any allegations of wrongdoing through the Department of Education and also the Department of Justice. So he may be cleared locally, but possibly not in a federal situation.
I see. And the case against Sandusky just keeps getting stronger by the day. What kind of time behind bars could he face if he is convicted?
Well, Sandusky was actually charged with 40 separate felony counts, and 11 of those are first-degree felonies, which could get 20 years in prison. Grand total, he's looking at 277 years just on the charges that he's facing now. As I said, as the investigation continues, if they find more victims, if they find more allegations that he has done other misconduct, then he could be facing more charges. The other thing with him, there's also reports that possibly he was, for lack of a better term, trading young boys to some of the alumni. So the web could grow in terms of the number of charges, not only against him, but other individuals as well.
That is just horrible.
It's a horrible situation, and the scope of it is just taken off, and the fact that it went so long for 15 years and no one really basically turned a blind eye to it, that's what the problem really lies.
Yeah, it's shocking. Now, okay, something very interesting happened here locally. Let's talk about jury duty, our civic duty.
One of my favorite topics, actually.
Hillsborough County Judge Greg Holder made a big deal over a lot of people who failed to report for jury duty.
This happened in October, actually. There was 387 people the first week of October that didn't show up for jury duty. And this has been an ongoing problem. I know we talked about the Casey Anthony effect, and really in July we started noticing that people were not showing up for jury duty. And so basically this came to a boiling point in October when these people, it was 40% of the jurors that were summoned were not showing up. The average is 40%. 25% is the average on any given week. So Judge Holder took it upon himself to summon those 387 people to another court date. That happened on November 4th. It turned into a big civics lesson, and I was surprised because a lot of people, I rode up with someone in the elevator, one of the jurors, and they were so nervous and so shaky about going in front of Judge Holder. Most of them simply forgot, or most of them just said, well, I had an excuse. Judge Holder made a point that you need to send in your jury summons and your report to say that I'm not going to be there. And so in the end, he asked them voluntarily, would they come back for jury duty in January? Every single person agreed to do it. So it really kind of got the message across. More than punishing them, it became a lesson in civics and realizing that, hey, if you're going to be accused of a crime, you would want a set of jurors that are going to come, pay attention to your case, no matter how serious or how not serious it is. So it got the message across, and I think it was a good thing, all in all.
Yeah, let's see if they report in January.
Then they're going to be in big trouble if they don't show up then.
Right. All right, thank you, Felix. You're going to be back during our 8 o'clock hour of the day.
Yes, I will.
To talk about the legality of the NFL blackouts and celebrity legal drama involving,
plenty of it going on.
You know who?
The Lohans, our favorite people.
And people can hear your legal opinions online, right?
Yes, I actually have a radio show now. It's on hawkradio.com. On Wednesdays, it's live. It's called On the Docket. Also, you can go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/onthedocket. I have last week's show on there. Lots of great topics. We're doing a mix of legal affairs, also news, financial news, politics, sports. We're covering it all on the docket.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Kristin. Good to be here with you.
All right, take care. Okay, there is a town in Florida offering those who qualify free money to buy foreclosed homes. How it works, coming up.
Around 60 degrees, but the weekend ahead does look pretty nice. Kristin?
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty of the crime of involuntary manslaughter in violation of Penal Code Section
So we know the verdict, but what about the sentence? And could Conrad Murray be facing more legal troubles? Everyone was watching the Conrad Murray trial the past few weeks, including prosecutor Felix Vega. And he joins us this morning for another round of legal talk.
Good morning, Kristin.
Good morning. Thanks for being with us. In this hour, we begin with the celebrity legal drama. Well, we'll get to the celebrity legal drama. Let's start with the Murray trial. He gets sentenced later this month. What do you think could happen?
Well, he's facing up to 4 years in prison in California, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he actually gets a full prison sentence or some sort of split sentence with prison followed by probation. It was very telling that the Judge Pastor in L.A. took him into custody, as you see there, right after the verdict. He could have been allowed to stay out on bond. He was out on bond the entire time pending the trial. So some are saying that's an indication that he's setting him up for some sort of prison sentence or jail sentence. The problem with the jail sentence, as we know, in California, overcrowding is a big problem, which is what we've talked about with the Lindsay Lohan situation. So whether or not he serves anywhere near a full 4 years, anywhere near a full prison sentence, remains to be seen.
And what about a civil suit from the Jackson family? Is there a chance that could happen?
There's always a chance it could happen. It really makes no sense at this point because he was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, which is what the aim of the criminal case was. We've heard repeatedly throughout the trial itself that Conrad Murray was making upwards of $150,000 a month, just being Michael Jackson's physician. But he was spending as much as he was taking in, so he's in debt up to his eyeballs. Whether or not the Jacksons would even be able to get any money out of him other than just a simple judgment, why bother at this point? They've got the conviction, and I think really they want to move on with their lives now that they have someone responsible criminally for Michael Jackson's death.
Oh, wow. Okay. Another case we want to talk about today is Lindsay Lohan. She's sentenced to 30 days in jail, but serves only 5 hours.
Right.
And so the jail out in L.A. says it's overcrowded, but what's the deal with that? Do they need more jails? What is the issue?
Well, L.A. seems to be like very overcrowded in terms of the sheer number of inmates that they have. I can tell you here in Hillsborough County, there's about 4,000 beds between the two jail facilities that we have here. Every state and every city has their own rules regarding what's called early release or alternative means of confinement. In Lindsay Lohan's case, she's serving probation for a DUI, I believe was her original charge. She got a 30-day sentence. She's considered a low-risk offender by LA's terms, and also the same thing in Hillsborough County. There are certain people that if you're sentenced to a jail sentence, you may be able to do work release. You may be able to serve your sentence and merely report to the jail every day. So it's not completely uncommon. I think this is an extreme case. Obviously, she's a celebrity. She's been in the news. And again, it's a problem with the overcrowding. It's nationwide.
And her father, I believe, is still in jail in Hillsborough County.
He's still here in Hillsborough.
Will be for some time.
No, he's going to be in for a while because, as you remember, as you can see Michael Lohan there after he famously jumped from the roof of the Tahitian Inn. And then that was right after he was told not to contact his girlfriend. His bond was revoked, and he's going to remain in custody until they get his case either to trial or some sort of resolution.
Okay, so last thing, the Bucks play today, but we will not see them once again on TV. There's a bill at the state capitol, I guess, to stop these blackouts. What do you know about that? Senator
Mike Fasano from Newport Richey actually introduced a bill last Friday that would actually try and end the blackouts, at least here in Florida. It would cover the Jaguars, the Bucks, and also the Dolphins. What he did was actually smart in the way that they crafted the bill. In Florida, every team is actually created by state statute and by state law. So even though you may be the Buccaneers, you had to be created under the state of Florida laws in order to become the team. With that, each team gets $166,000 a month from a general fund that comes to maintain the stadium facilities and also team management, basically an incentive to stay within the county. Fasano's law actually sets up an interesting legal argument between can the federal government, which the NFL blackout rule is actually a federal rule by the FCC. It got implemented in 1973. The team owners were trying to get people into the stadiums and not so much watching on TV. Now it becomes an issue. Does that federal rule trump the state rules in terms of can they say, well, we're not going to give you any more funding. You're going to have to be dealing with the blackout. Or is it going to say that, okay, you can't black us out because you're getting state money, and therefore you're violating the rights of the citizens of the state of Florida to watch the game in their respective counties?
Okay, wow. Well, I know people would like to see an end to those blackouts for sure.
It is such an outdated rule, and I've thought about this and wanted to talk about this so much because it really has no effect anymore because people are either going to go to the games or they're not going to go to the games. Think of all the people that own restaurants and bars in the area. It's hurting their pocketbooks too.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Prosecutor Felix Vega, for being
Thanks, Kristin, for having me.
We'll be right back.